Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of BB News. And with the news that Todd Boehly is going to be taking a step backwards at Chelsea, I'm going to be looking into this story and looking at is it his fault that we're in such a mess, or can it be the old regime who got to take some of the blame also? So, Todd Boehly has decided to step backwards now, and he's only going to be 20% interest in Chelsea, whilst he goes and looks at other business interests. And so all those people who are saying he's a control freak, he's micromanaging the team, he wants a yes man because he wants to run the team. How do you feel now? We got to understand what happened, why he had to assume such a big role that he did when he first took over at Chelsea. If you want to blame anyone, blame the government, because everything was done at a breakneck speed. So he had to come in straight away, assess the landscape, and try to hit the ground running. We don't know whether it was Marina Granovska's decision to go, or whether he said, look, step aside, I'll take over. If he did say step aside, I'll take over, then yeah, we can blame him for that, because he needed a bit of a transition period. But there was talk about there was going to be a transition period. So I think, and I've got nothing to back me up on this, but I think that it was. I read a report. Again, as I said, it's a newspaper report, so there's two sides to every story. But that Marina Granovska said that but when Roman left, she felt it was her time to go, and she didn't want to be part of the transition. So once the takeover was complete, she decided to step away. So that's put him in a precarious situation, because he's left now without a managing director. And the other thing is, Petr Cech also, we know that because we sort of heard it out of his mouth say that he was going to step back. I'm not sure whether he was being marginalised why he said that, or he felt, again, it was time for him to leave the club. So we were left with no technical directors and no managing director. So Todd Boehly, with the assistance of Graham Tuchel, that's why he called him Tuchel, Thomas Tuchel. He was the one who was identifying players, conducting negotiations. As we know, conducting negotiations in football is totally different from doing it in other businesses. So he had the wool pulled over his him a few times. So he messed up on some deals. As I said, Cucurella's one, overpaid for him. The football industry was surprised at how much we paid for him. And so there were some bad misses, but that was to be expected because this guy was new into football. So there were quite a few mistakes. And the main purpose, as I said, for him doing what he did was because he was waiting to get the right football people in place before stepping away. He's now got the right football people in place, so now he feels it's the right time for him to step aside and allow the footballing people to do their jobs. Good news that I'm hearing is that Michael Edwards, there still is a possibility that he may join as our sporting director, because obviously we've got Winstanley and Stewart at the moment, but if he heads up that operation, then that'll be great, because he's had experience at Liverpool in doing that. So maybe they're confident of him coming now. That's why Boehly's decided to take the step that he has taken. So so, and another thing, do you think he's a billionaire? Do you think you're going to have all his interest just in Chelsea? He doesn't become a billionaire by just concentrating on the football club. He don't get rich on a football club. So he's got other businesses that he needs to deal with. So it was always going to be the case that he was going to come in early doors and assess this, sort of try and manage the wavy waters, and then step aside. And so a lot of your conspiracy theorists now is just thrown right out. Are just thrown right out the window. So it's good that he's no longer going to be, getting involved, and he should be doing what other owners do. Leave the football matter to football people. He concentrates on some of the business stuff, and he has to take care of the whole footballing structure, etc., etc. But the football side, the playing side, is going to be left to the right people. And another thing which I was hearing, which again we can dismiss, is the nonsense that the only reason that he's hiring Pochettino is because he's a yes man. So Pochettino is not going to be answering into him anymore. If anything, he's going to be answering to Stanley Stewart and probably Michael Edwards if he does come in. So again, those conspiracy theorists are, in the mud with that one. So with just a little touch on as something that I was mentioning the other day about how football has changed, the landscape has now changed. So the hiring and firing doesn't quite work anymore. And it was interesting to see after Manchester City won the league the other day, they've only had 4 managers since the new ownerships came in. 4 managers compared to, in that same period of time, Chelsea probably had about 9 or 10 managers. They've won 2 more titles. We had a head start on them. They've won 2 more titles than us already. And they're probably about to overtake us in the amount of trophies won. So that model of sustainability, of keeping a manager for a long period of time, that is the way to get sustained success, not winning titles here and there. 5 titles, as I said, in 19 years for us, compared to 7 in 12 years for Manchester City. So go and figure what the best method is. Football has changed, as I said. So what are you having? You're having the likes of your West Hams. You can spend more money than your Juventuses, your Bayern Munichs, and people like that. So we've got people who are smart in the football hierarchy now. So the well-run footballing businesses. So there's we've gone are the days where we were the outstanding team and there's 2 or 3 outstanding teams and most of the other teams weren't that great. So we've got the likes of Newcastle coming up now, even Brighton, well-run club. So you got to be a lot better in the way that you run your business if you want to carry on winning a lot. And so we've learnt the hard way now. So it was ripping off the band-aid. It was going to be a bit of pain at times, but I still believe that we can get some success. So in the future. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Not doing a preview for the match tomorrow against Manchester United. It's pointless. The season's over. But what we got to take from the lessons learned from Manchester United is that no one's guaranteed success. Manchester United, the successful team for 2 decades, and then now we're playing them. They're just probably just getting the top 4 position. Haven't challenged for the league for ages. So that's where they're at. That's where we're going to be at for a couple of seasons at least. Hopefully we'll get it right and then don't wait as long as Manchester United have for our next league title. But it's going to be. We may be surprised, seems people, I don't know, but I think it's going to be a couple of years before we get back to the top again. So guys, what do you think of the story, the news today that broke about Todd Boehly, stepping back from football? Do you think that's the right thing to do? Do you think he's gonna can't help himself and interfere a lot more, or do you think he is gonna really step away and let the football people do what they are meant to be doing? Stick your comments in the section below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So take care. Bye.